Hey guys, for today's video, I told you I've been working on some things because I've been receiving multiple messages and downloads. Some of them are they're really heavy. In previous videos, I have talked about how I've been trying to understand some of the ways or the reasons that things have unfolded in the way that they have as of late. So I want to tell you a story about my aunt, who she loved me so much that when I was going to be born, she lived in a different state. My mom told me when she was going into the hospital and to be in labor with me, that my aunt, who lived 5 states away, she traveled all the way to my hometown in order for her to be present for my birth. It's still a really bittersweet story for me to know that she felt so closely to me even before I was born, that she just had to be there. And she left her home and she moved, and she was there for my birth, and then she never left after that until, many years later, until I was pretty grown, not an adult, but of course we still kept very closely in contact. And unfortunately, she passed in 2011 due to a rare blood disorder. From what I understand, it's been significantly involved with her infertility. Okay, so she desperately wanted children, and she unfortunately was not able to conceive. So she made several attempts. She actually she went to Mexico, and it was in order to get IV therapy or treatments for at a more affordable cost. It never really panned out, but she did end up adopting, and I have 2 beautiful nieces because of that. But apparently, because of the treatments that she received, they must have caused some sort of blood disorder, or that's the speculation, right? So that's what she ultimately died from, was a rare blood disorder. So, of course, it's speculated whether or not she received the right treatment or the right therapy for her body, or if it was a catalyst for her death, right? Anyways, she passed away in 2011. It was actually on my birthday, and my mom called me, and she said it might have been the day after, but she said I didn't want to call you on your birthday and give you the bad news, but I already knew that they were there with her, and this was happening or whatever. But she did. She died on my birthday, on 5/11/2011, and it's kind of crazy because she loved me so much. She was so excited for my birth and that I was coming, and she just wanted to be, the best aunt ever. And she gave up everything. She left her own life behind back in 1981. She left everything behind to come and be a part of my life. And then the day that she left this world was on my birthday. So that really tells me that she really loved me. She really cared. So much that I think maybe she waited for my birthday to pass on, and she is one of those in my spirit team. I've talked about it before. I have a tenacious spirit tribe, if you know what I mean. They are at the ready. They are just always watching and making sure that we're good, that I'm good, and that my little family is good. So, you're in the camera. Hoochie. Anyways, 2004. So we're rewinding a little bit. 2004, my grandmother, my grandmama, that's what I always called her. She did not prefer grandma. So it was grandmama. And my mom is mama. She's been mama for most of my life. Coco. Anyways, my grandmama died when I was 22 years old. And I had a lot going on in my life at that time. And, I was over the road with my husband at the time. And I definitely had, left the nest. I had, like, much earlier, but I always had a very, very close connection to my grandmama. She used to write me letters when I was like little. I was like 8 or something, and I would write her back. And I loved her letters. I still have some of them. But when we left, I left, some of those things that I couldn't carry. I left them at my mom's place in her garage. So I still have some letters from my grandmama. And when I got the news that she had passed, they had a funeral for her, of course. It was an open casket. And I attended. I went, even though it was in another state. It was a couple states away. But when I was a child, we always went and saw my grandparents for Thanksgiving, Of course, when I was a child, we went with my mom. My mom always drove us there, and we spent, the Thanksgiving holidays and maybe into Christmas. We were there like every year. So when I did move out and became an independent adult or whatever, and I met my husband, or I met my guy, and then we were going to be married. I wasn't really in their lives so much anymore, my grandparents. I want to say I was probably like 12 the last time that I saw them. Except for when I did go over the road. I was newly married, and I did go over the road with my husband, my spouse. We were going to be going through North Carolina, and I talked to my mom, and I got their number, my grandparents, and I called them, and I said, we're going to be going right through your town, and would you like to have lunch with us? So we did. We had lunch, and it was so good to see them. I hadn't seen them in probably 6 years or something. And that was the last time that I saw them before my grandmama passed away. And then I went to the funeral, and it was awkward. I've always been awkward around even my own family, especially the extended family, right? Like I'm comfortable around my very close family, but I'm an introvert. And even though we were always around when we were kids and stuff, there was still always like there was a very strict standard of, straighten up, stand straight. Don't look like that. Don't do that with your hair. Like, just, you have to be perfect. like right now, while you're around your family. Because they were better than us, you know? We were poor. we were we I don't know. Broke. A lot of the clothes that I wore were actually hand-me-downs from my cousins who were much better off than my brother and I were. Anyways. I feel like, sometimes my memory deceives me a bit. Just, excuse me, in the way of timelines or whatever. But I know in that year, I lost two people that I was very, very close to. One, my husband, and two, my grandmama. And I can't remember exactly who came first, which it sounds crazy. Like, I should know that, right? But unfortunately, sometimes my mind compartmentalizes things in a way that keeps me safe or protects me. For instance, I don't remember most of my childhood. Like, there are like 3 traumatic instances that I remember. They're not good. I remember them because they planted a deep seed inside of me. I don't remember anything else. Like, from probably 6 years old until 12 years old, there's nothing. There's literally nothing. And then there's only a few fleeting moments that I remember as a preteen or whatever. And then, so then I start remembering things. Start remembering the disaster that it is to be a fucking teenager, unfortunately. But, anyways. So I went to my grandmother's funeral, and there was an open casket. I really, I thought I was younger until I double checked. I double checked my records, and I was like, oh my god, it's 2004. So I was actually I was 22 years old. I was also 22 years old when I lost my husband to a drug overdose / possible suicide. So it's probably why it's fuzzy. Is I remember having that brunch with my grandparents when we're coming through town. And I was like, okay, yeah. So that was, my husband and I met with them and had brunch with them. So he was still alive then. It wasn't when I was younger because he was there. And I remember certain things about it. I remember, my uncle, he said to me, he said, you always have this timeless look. And I was like, thank you. But at the same time, I didn't really know if it was an insult or if it was a compliment. I was like, so are you saying that, I have a timeless beauty and I'll always be beautiful in a way? Or are you saying that I look like a child? No matter when you see me, I still look like a child, even though I'm 22 years old. Anyways, whatever. That's just what I remember from this funeral. The last funeral that I ever attended, by the way. But when it came down to it, and I walked up to my grandmama's casket, it was open, and she was laying there, and I looked at her, and I just felt horrible, you know? I was like, man, I love her. And I touched her hand, and I held her hand, and it was really cold. Like I said, I never attended another funeral after that. Of course, when my soulmate died, there was no funeral, because I couldn't orchestrate it or make that happen. I just made sure that he was cremated, and his urn still sits on our shelf today, and my daughter has her heart urn.
You can show them.
Anyways, that was 2004. When my grandmama passed. Like I said, I was 22 years old. Then my daughter really wants to show you guys, or wants me to show you guys, her urn. That's her daddy's handheld little heart, with his ashes in it. We have a, don't worry about it, baby.
I was looking at the
Here. You know, we have a larger urn that has 5 doves on it, or whatever, but anyways, so yeah, 2004, I lost my grandma, and then in 2011, my aunt, she left this world. She left her husband, my uncle, that I mentioned before, and her 2 babies. They were adopted because, like I said, she tried, but she just couldn't have any babies. It was going to be too hard on her body because she already had some kind of rare blood disorder, and she adopted, and those babies they love her so much, and as they should. Obviously, she's amazing. She loved me so much as an aunt, right? She moved states to be with me when I was first born and stayed. And I remember we had really, really cool times. Like, her husband at the time was my Uncle Leroy. And, like, I don't know. It's funny. It's patchy, but anyways, I know that was it was very hard on all of us. It was especially hard on my mom, because that was her younger sister. Not her youngest, but her younger sister, and still, I mean, a sibling in general passing, like, it's awful. But it's even worse, I guess, if they're younger than you. Like, people say that if you lose a child, like, you just lose your mind, right? Like, they're not supposed to go before you. Unfortunately, it does happen. And actually, that's another weird phenomenon that has taken place in my life. Like, I would like to say that I am not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. Nor have I ever been. But at the same time, things are starting to happen, or not starting to happen. Maybe I'm starting to notice things that have happened in my life, and I'm going, it's too weird to ignore. It really is. Like, maybe actually I am involved or part of a conspiracy. Like, the reason I say that is because my first husband, who I mentioned, who had a drug overdose, which could or could not have been suicide, like, there were certain things leading up to it that made us think that it was suicide, that it was planned. But then at the same time, like, things were getting good for him again. So why would he do that? Why would he hurt himself like that? Anyways, I was just looking up some things. I was just curiously researching some things, and I found out that his mother died on my birthday. It wasn't 2011. But again, it was 5/11. So, how common, or rather, what ratio do you think someone dies on your birthday? Like, what ratio? 1 in 1,000? Just approximation.
Well,
What
days
ratio might two people die on your birthday? 1 in a million? Again, if I didn't say this already, I am not a conspiracy theorist. But what are the odds that two people have died on your birthday? Not the day of your birth, but your birth date. Yes, my aunt, she loved me very much, obviously. Maybe she held out. Maybe she held out because I know that when people are on their deathbed, that definitely happens. I experienced it with my own ex. He held out for my daughter. He held out for 2 weeks. It probably wouldn't have been that long, but he was waiting. He was waiting for her until he just knew that she wasn't going to be able to be there. The same thing happened with my dad and my grandfather. My grandfather lay in the hospital for nearly a month, and my dad said, I can't make it, I can't make it, I won't make it, I won't make it until, he's already gone and it's pointless and whatever. And his family, they convinced him. They said, you have to come. You have to. We'll pay for your flight. So my dad finally made up his mind, and he went to go see his dad on his deathbed. And as soon as he got there, his dad left this world. He was waiting for him. He said, I'm not going until I see my boy. Right? Anyways, my aunt died on my birthday in 2011. My granddaddy, he died in 2012. My mom and my stepdad went to see him, and they called me, from hospice or whatever, wherever they were, the hospital, whatever they called, and they let me talk to him. And I talked to him briefly, and I told him I love you, and he didn't respond. And then the phone was taken away, and my mom was like, all right, I'll talk to you later. And I was like, okay. So I knew he was going. I guess the point of this video, the focus of it is the downloads I've been getting, the messages that I mentioned before have been relentless. This is the the truth bomb that's going to blow everything out of the water. And this has also been why I have, excuse me, why I have been hesitating. Because this gives motive. When I was 22 years old and my grandmama passed away, I was there simply to see her and to touch her hand and to hold her hand and to cry for her. I had no expectations. I had no entitlement or entitled thought that maybe I would get something, because I don't think like that. Even though we were so very close, we were incredibly close on holidays because we had been removed from them at a very early age. We only saw them once a year. But we were so very close that she wrote me letters, which is amazing. Like, I love that. And I actually wrote her back. I don't know how many grandchildren she wrote letters to, or if they wrote her back. I don't know. But she wrote me letters, and I wrote her back, because they're amazing. I love that. It's probably why I like to write so much these days. But my aunt passed. I just thought it was a terrible tragedy. She was too young. She was younger than I am now. And when my grandfather passed, I talked to him. And when I said, I love you, and he didn't respond, I did feel some kind of way. I was like, oh, he hates me. Like, he thinks I'm a fucking phony. He thinks, how could you love me? I haven't seen you in 20 years or whatever. And he's old school, right? Of course. I chalked it up to that. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'm an asshole because I told him I love him, even though I did. But his old school thought is probably, how can you love me? You haven't seen me in 20 years, you know? Then after he passed, this is the hard part, guys. This is the part that part of me says, don't say it. Part of me says, do say it. And then Spirit says, you have to say it. You have to. I don't know why. But I am obedient. I will listen. I do listen to the Most High. So, again, I feel no entitlement to anyone or anything. If anything, any kindness that is shown to me or showered on me, I am eternally grateful, because I almost don't know how to receive it. I don't know a lot of kindness. I know a lot of hatred. Even though I don't know why sometimes, but I'm starting to understand why. It's because I'm too fucking happy. People are like, why are you so fucking happy? Excuse my language. My daughter just looked at me like, what is wrong with you? Anyways. When my grandfather died, my granddaddy, like I said, it was 2012. My mom came to me and she gave me $200. And I was like, what is this? And she said, because your granddaddy passed. He wanted you to have this. And I was like, oh my God. Thank you so much. $200. Like, again, I haven't seen him in 20 years, or maybe not 20 years. Like I said, that encounter in 2020 or 2021, where my husband and I met them for lunch, and we had lunch with them, and they paid for our lunch. Naturally, they didn't have to. We were supposed to pay for their lunch, but they paid for ours. But anyways, that was the last time. That was the last time that I saw him. And what'd I say? The year. He passed in 2012. So obviously it wasn't 2020 or whatever, because my child was 4 years old then. Anyways, 20 years prior is what I was trying to say. Anyways, that was the last time I saw him. I didn't expect anything. I didn't expect $200. Like, why would I? And not to mention that he and my grandmother, they had 4 beautiful children. And their 4 beautiful children had multitudes of grandchildren. So my mom had 2 children. My aunt had 4 children. The youngest daughter. My other aunt adopted 2 children. And my uncle, the eldest of the 4, he had 4. Or, no, I'm sorry. He had 2. And then they all had a bunch of kids, you know? They had an abundance of grandchildren. So it was like, you know, we were the grandchildren, but then there were a ton of great grandchildren. So I just thought, okay, they all lived in the same state. They all saw them all the time. They probably had weekend dinners and whatever, if not daily dinners or whatever, and I hadn't seen them in years. So I was like super surprised. $200. I didn't ask any questions. I told my mom, I said, thank you. Wow. I didn't ask my brother, like, did you get $200? You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's also where the naivete comes in. You know, some people would love to call me stupid, and, you know, some days I would love to call me stupid as well, because I don't ask questions and I tell no lies. But when that happened, when my mom graciously gave me $200, that I was like, wow, are you serious? Thank you. Then my mom proceeded to add on an attached 2-car garage to her home that she already owned. In that area, the approximate value of adding a attached 2-car garage is about $60,000 to $80,000. I looked it up like last month. I was like, oh, maybe it was like $8,000 or something. No, I looked it up. It was $65,000 to $80,000 is what it costs to add a attached 2-car garage to your home. Which, hey, whatever, man. She was a child, you know. She was the second born out of 4 kids. Again, I never asked my brother. He did later close, a year later, closed on a home, which would, the value of the home would equivalent to an average of $30,000 for a down payment. So, just saying. And I don't even like going here, except for that I've been strongly encouraged by the forces to just say it. Just say it. It's motive, guys. It's motive. If there's some sort of gain to my demise, this is it. This is it. So, my mom, she received, this is just speculation again, but she received $60,000 to $80,000 because she's an immediate child. So yeah, fair enough. Yes, okay. Did my brother receive something? Because, you know what? He is one of like 12 grandchildren. Maybe not 12. I don't know. I gotta pee. Hold on. Anyways, guys, I kind of, excuse me, I kind of forgot where exactly I left off, but the messages that I've been receiving and, you know, the downloads as mentioned before, it appears that I had people in my life that loved me, like my ancestors. They loved me and they saw something in me. And then my immediate family, once they were gone, my immediate family also saw that light. But they didn't like it. They didn't like the fact that I was going to get something that they didn't feel like I deserved, right? I never asked a single question. I never questioned anything because I didn't feel like I deserved it. It's looking like now that this is why they're going so fucking hard against me, though. Because they tried to make me look crazy. They tried to isolate me. They tried to take away any sort of independence that I had. They sent in honeypots. Or if they didn't send them in, they met people that I truly cared about, counterparts, and they offered them a bribe to go against me. When that didn't work, when making me crazy didn't work, when breaking my heart didn't work, they then tried to poison me. When that didn't work, they tried to call DCF on me and have my child taken away from me because they knew if that happened, then I would seriously have no will to live, because my baby is the most important thing to me in my life. Not only did I think very, very cautiously about ever having a child, because I didn't want her to be subjected to the evils of the world. But then when I did finally make that decision, and I had her when I was 35 years old, they thought I was just gonna give her away. Just be like, okay, I can't do it. Life's too hard. You can have her. No. You're sorely mistaken, fuckers. Because that's my baby, and I'm Mama Bear. And you switched me into Mama Bear mode. Anyways, I may or may not have an inheritance. I may or may not have a trust fund. I may or may not have property. I was saving for a house when the last dude was sent in. I had savings and I spent it all because he lost his job, and I spent it all to take care of him. I was saving up for a house for my daughter and I. No other person. My daughter and I, and a dog or two. I can't get a... Yeah. A beautiful doggy. I actually had two, but now I have one. Anyways, if anybody who has followed this story thus far has wondered, why would so many people go to such lengths? Well, to sum it up for you, my family who I really thought they loved me. until they cast me out. They treated me like I was garbage, like I had been garbage all my life, but I hadn't been. All of a sudden, the script flipped. Like, they were just waiting for a reason. Like, you're a piece of shit, get the fuck out of here. What did I do? I lost my fucking home because my roommate couldn't help me pay, and now I'm a piece of garbage and I never deserved any fucking kind of empathy or sympathy? No, they were looking for a reason. They're like, you just leave your daughter here and you get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. Huh. They tried to make me look crazy. They tried to justify why I didn't deserve whatever was given to me. It was a gift to me. It wasn't up to them whether or not I deserved it. And maybe it's like 3 gifts, because people saw in me that I am a pure heart, that I am a kind soul, that all I ever did was love people who fucking betrayed me, who betrayed the shit out of me. And as far as the other stuff, you know, like, I talked about this in previous videos. It should not be this hard. It really, it's not this hard. Do people generally get inheritance? Because I wouldn't know. Like, and again, I am not entitled. I am the most humble person you could ever imagine. I've been groomed to believe that I don't deserve anything in life. Especially not true love, genuine love, who doesn't abuse me or cheat on me or try to rob me. They even tried to turn my own child against me. And they were grooming her. They were grooming her for when I was gone. They had their whole plan for her. You can fucking trust that. There are some things that have happened to me that apparently are trafficking. I never even knew that. I had no idea. I just thought this shit was normal. So, they were going to traffic my daughter when I was gone, as they took a fucking payout, because they got my inheritance. Maybe not the property, because apparently that's still on the table. But they got my inheritance, and when that wasn't enough, the greedy motherfuckers took out a life insurance policy on me. And they collected on that too. But if I'm not dead, they have to pay it back. I'm not dead. So, fuckity fuck. Now what do? They're going to double down. They're going to double down and try to make sure that they don't have to pay that back. So, again, I am not a conspiracy theorist. Unfortunately, I do feel like I am in the middle of a conspiracy. The people that I loved most and would have never expected. That's why they got away with it. That's why they got this far, dude. I'm like, no, that's my mom. She wouldn't do that. No, that's my brother. He wouldn't do that. Yeah, my stepdad, he's a fucking weirdo, so he probably would, but no, fuck. My own family. This is why I'm not supposed to have any hope. But you know what? I do.
We do.
I have hope. We have hope. Because God walks with us. Like that barefoot poem in the beach sand. Yeah. I never took it seriously until I did. And I get a lot of messages that I walk with God. No. God walks with me. Thankfully. And I'm not trying to be weird. Like, it's almost undigestible for me to be open about how much I've been touched, I guess. Anyways, if anybody needed to put the puzzle pieces together like I have, it's starting to make sense. Unfortunately, it started from a really covert, innocent looking plan that gained momentum, and they went harder and harder and harder to try and succeed. Like, they got some money and it wasn't enough, and they got greedy and they tried harder, and they were like, well, if we do this, we can get more money. We do this, we can get more money. You fucking sinister ass fucking demons. You suck. And you will not be victorious. And I'm not mental. I should be. After everything, I should be. That's what they wanted. They wanted to drive me crazy, and then conservatorship. Like, it gives power of attorney or conservatorship. No. I have not granted a power of attorney to anyone. I have not granted custody of my one and only daughter to anyone. I am not a mental case, and good luck proving it. I know that was heavy. Next time, next video, I'll try really hard to be funny. Anyways, good night, guys.